Welcome to eDiscovery Leaders Live, where I get a chance to chat with luminaries in eDiscovery and related areas. This broadcast is sponsored by Reveal Brainspace, the industry's leading AI eDiscovery platform. Don't forget to subscribe to watch me, George Socha, weekly with leaders in eDiscovery. Thank you for tuning in. eDiscovery Leaders Live, hosted by ACEDS and sponsored by Reveal. I am George Socha. I head up brand awareness at Reveal. This week, we are broadcasting live from Legalweek 2024 in New York City. On each episode of eDiscovery Leaders Live, I get the chance to chat with luminaries in eDiscovery and related areas. Past episodes are available on the Reveal website. Go to reveal.data.com, select resources, then select eDiscovery Leaders Live. Our guest for this episode is Kevin Clark. Kevin is the CEO of Right Discovery. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, George. Glad to be here. Testing, am I on?
You are on.
Excellent. Okay, great.
I can hear you clearly.
Nice.
There
Excellent.
we go.
Giving thumbs up to the lady in the back.
Well, we've got a laundry list of different things we could be talking about, so I'm going to pick some arbitrarily, and you'll have to suffer through this.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'd like to start with a topic that you and I were discussing last night,
Yes.
which is the need to have attorneys involved in the progress of eDiscovery.
Yes.
Not
yes.
leaving it all to the likes of Reveal, the software company.
Exactly. So, yes, and that's we were discussing that over drinks last night at the Reveal party at the Rainbow Room. But sometimes software companies start to develop a product, and they're focused so much on the software, the technology, what they're trying to, the problem they're trying to resolve. And they lose sight of the end client. Like, who are they making it for? And we were discussing just the need to always remember the end client is actually the attorney, whether it's in-house in the law firm, whether it's the law firm or in-house in the corporate. And, so having those resources, having that dialogue, having that interactive discussion with attorneys is key. And then I think this goes for every type of software, every type of product, and probably even every type of service. You can probably broaden it. You really need to understand what the problem is and how can you use technology to resolve it.
Now, how do we accomplish this?
Well, I think so. I think it varies, but there has to be interactions with the law firms and with the in-house counsel. And, whether it's through a service provider, bringing those attorneys, their clients to the table, if it's, so you have software companies, they're pure software companies. A lot of times you'll have service providers that sell software and also provide services. So, for a pure software company, I think they need to engage if they're selling directly to the law firm or the in-house counsel. They definitely engage and have some type of mechanism, whether it's just their salespeople talking to them or some type of, panel or, basically they need to somehow have some dialogue, opportunities to have a dialogue. If it's the service provider, more of a service provider focused, that's reselling software, I think they need to collaborate with the technology company, the software provider, and to bring that message from the attorney to the software company. So maybe they're intermediate and they have to bring it to them. I think it's it's going to help them and help grow their business if they're actually creating this being this liaison.
It sounds like from what you're saying, the messages need to run both directions.
Yes.
The software and the service companies need to explain what they are offering.
Yes.
And how it can be used. But they also need to listen to their clients and customers to figure out what those folks say they need and what they appear to really need no matter what they say.
Right, right. So yeah, there's definitely some education in it. We've seen this throughout the history of legal technology, and I think that's here at Legal Week, Legal Tech League Week now. I think that's one of the big factors is how to educate the attorney and how to show them what they can do. And a classic example is TAR. What's TAR? TAR 1.0. Early on, the thing was called CAR/TAR. There's which way do we do it?
It was predictive coding, and
predictive
then it was
coding.
something else.
Well, somebody trademarked that.
Yep.
And then but it was TAR, and then we had these discussions, but it was education. It's like, hey, we can use this technology to help with review, to help the review process. Now, the education piece is so important, but I think what happened there sometimes is oversimplified. So a lot of times I think some people selling it's made it out to be like the easy button, like, hey, this will solve all your problems, just hit the easy button and your documents will be reviewed, and then you'll get back and you'll know responsive, not responsive, So there's definitely, it's a two-way streak. There's definitely education needed, but it has to be the right education.
Well, and there are different forms of education, different ways the education can be delivered. You can come to a conference like this.
Yes.
And you can attend hour-long sessions.
Mm-hmm.
No one's
Yes.
actually going to quiz you to see whether you learned anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard, as one who's spoken on and moderated many a panel, it's hard to get into a lot of depth, no matter how much you want to, with a broad audience in a 1-hour session.
Right, definitely.
There are certification programs and other activities. What forms of education do you see as being most effective?
Well, great question. There's obviously the CLEs, but that's still 1 hour of training. Sometimes those are high level, very theoretical, very aspirational. Sometimes they're a little more practical and a little more hands-on. There's organizations. Obviously, there's one organization that we're both involved in, ACEDS. They do certain types of training and education. They have different certifications, ACEDS certification, and they've evolved. Now they have some more different certifications. I think that's been a very important program or important organization that has provided different programs to legal practitioners, whether it's attorneys or non-attorney legal practitioners. There's definitely other conferences and other events, not just Legal Week, but there's a great conference.
Well, there is the Masters
by the
Conference.
Masters Conference, exactly.
That you are somewhat
Yes,
involved
yes.
in.
Slightly involved in that. So, that's been a great conference
And
series.
what is your role in that?
I am currently the Chief Legal Officer of the Masters Conference. And so, and over the last few years, we have been able to expand and really grow the Masters Conference for legal. Part of what we've been able to do is expand to, last year we had 13 cities. We had 2 international, so 11 in the United States and 1 in Toronto and 1 in London. So we were definitely expanded outside just the United States. This year we currently have 12. We're still looking to add a few more. I'm looking to add some more, again, outside the United States. And the Masters Conference has gone from having just one conference a year, such as Legal Week or ILTA or Georgetown, and we've expanded. So basically, there's one every month, but in different locations. It's not just in one location. So every year Legal Week is here in New York. It's always at the Hilton. And it's great conference. Brings together some of the greatest minds and the greatest technology and wonderful content. What we've been able to do with the Masters is go to you. So we just had one in San Diego, and they've never really had such a conference in San Diego. So we had one 2 weeks ago in San Diego, and over 100 attendees, and we just had some great reviews and great feedback on what it presented. The great thing is, with us going to different cities, again, San Diego last week, we'll be in Miami, we'll be in Dallas, we'll be in Denver, Atlanta, Charlotte. But the great thing about going to these different cities are we get to touch and educate attorneys and legal practitioners that maybe don't have the budgets. They can't get to the legal weeks. They can't get to the ILTAs. They can't get to the Georgetowns. So because we're coming to them and putting on a conference there, they're able to actually participate where they couldn't fly to New York and stuff. So
what changes have you seen over time in the educational topics?
Well,
or not changes?
I was going to say a lot. So I've been saying this for the last few months, probably the last 6 months. It's the more things change, the more they stay the same. So it's put another way, with all this technological change that's happening, this advancements in GA. You may have never heard of this, but there's something called GAI, generative AI, LLM. Yes. But with all this technology, it's still, you go back to the fundamentals. You go back to the blocking and tackling. It's you still need the fundamentals. You still need to evaluate. You still need to validate. You still need to have people that know what they're doing. Whoever's pushing the button needs to understand what they're pushing. Whoever's asking the questions needs to understand the technology behind the questions they ask. So, some of the topics have, again, changed, but still the fundamentals are the same. Project management, still so very key. Customer service, being quick, being fast, being responsive to your customers, addressing the issue, understanding whatever technology it is, understanding how it works, so you can, as you come across problems, everybody comes across problems. It's how you address those problems. So understanding technology and figuring out what the problem is, so you can quickly work around the problem and then get to a solution. So it's I like to say it's every year there's a new buzzword. And this year it's GAI. A few years ago it was information governance. We had TAR. I'm not sure if active learning, CAL was ever one of the buzzwords.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just the buzzwords. And
when it can't hit the market as predictive coding, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
in a time not so long ago, so weeks, whatever it was, a month or so, you took on a new role.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So about 2 months ago, I'm going into my third month, I took over a company called Right Discovery. So I'm the CEO of Right Discovery, and we're a small discovery shop out of Dallas. Small in the sense that we're not the Concilio or the Epic yet, but it's.
I hear ambition there.
Exactly. But we're growing. It's been a great journey so far in the last 2 months, and we're just. I'm happy to be there. It's really, really exciting. We do some of the traditional discovery services, forensics, hosting, managed review, staffing, but also we help with depositions, help with trial work, more of a full spectrum of services. But also we are working with GAI. We're working with different technologies where we're doing some legal operations, pricing analysis, and invoice analysis. Some different things on both on the corporate and on the law firm side to help with billing and to help with invoice analysis, and also doing some cybersecurity work. Mainly focused on incident response right now, PII, PHI, but that's something I've had a lot of experience with, both at Thompsonite, Holland Knight, and then other vendors, and so it's glad to bring that. Actually, it's glad to bring all these pieces together to Right and be able to really help our clients out.
And are you taking your own advice to heart with a focus on training, education, and making sure that you are both educating your clients and getting feedback from them?
Exactly. Definitely. It's going from project management. There's always been you always need consultative project management, and that's having a dialogue just as a project manager. Sometimes clients do like the order taker type of project management, but that's not good in the long term. In the long term, it's a true give take relationship. It's that consultative piece, and that's just from the project management level to all the way to the top to listening, sharing, talking to our clients about GAI. Here's the options. Here's what we're looking at. Here's where, here's where it's going. Here's what we're watching. Here's our feelings on it. So educating our clients, testing some different software, using, working with them to test it and see how they like it. So it's an iterative process, but there's definitely an education piece. And part of the education is listening to the clients, hearing what they want, what they're interested in, both from the law firm side. A lot of law firms are very sophisticated in what's going on, and they're right there with service providers. They're working closely with the software vendors, and they're right there looking at the technologies, listening, trying to figure out how they're going to roll it out within their law firms and whatnot. So it's definitely a whole ecosystem, basically of education, learning, dialogue, interacting.
Well, Kevin, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Kevin Clark is the CEO of Right Discovery. I am George Socha. This has been eDiscovery Leaders Live, hosted by ACEDS and sponsored by Reveal. Kevin,
excellent.
Thank you so much.
Hey, George, thank you for having me. As always, it's great to talk to you.
As always, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.